Greetings everyone, this is Connor from Dagora TV, and in this video we're answering the question why Bethesda Game Studios needs a new engine for The Elder Scrolls 6. Okay, so the reason I've decided to make this video is because a lot of the demand that I've seen of improvements to make from Skyrim to The Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 4 to The Elder Scrolls 6, and the biggest request that fans are making of Bethesda Game Studios that I can see so far is to have a new engine. So I'm basically making this video to kind of outline why people want that to have, why people want them to have a new engine, what having a new engine could entail, and really going through the specifics of what really could bring the Elder Scrolls franchise forward or on other Bethesda Game Studios projects forward by having a new engine. Okay, so before we get into all that, I thought I'll just quickly give some background about the engine that Bethesda are using right now and really where the complaints are coming from. So, at this moment in time, Bethesda Game Studios have used the creation engine for Skyrim and Fallout 4. This engine was replacing the Gamebryo, which was used from Morrowind, Oblivion, and Fallout 3. Bethesda Game Studios did, however, update the creation engine for Fallout 4, and this basically offered physical-based rendering, dynamic volumetric lighting, and more advanced character generation. So really, yes, they improved it to go onto the next-gen systems and adding these different dynamics to the game, but overall, the improvements were pretty minor. And that's basically why a lot of people do not want them to go ahead and do the Fallout 4 route of going back and improving the creation engine to get more out of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One or whatever, but instead to use a brand new engine, because the improvements they made from Skyrim to Fallout 4 were minor when it comes to mechanically speaking. Because really, yes, in Fallout 4 we could have more character generations on the screen and everything, and the lighting was better, and yes, like it says, basic physics-based rendering was improved from Skyrim, because Skyrim was kind of ridiculous, and Fallout 4, it wasn't perfect, but it was improved. But that's not what we want. We want things to be fixed, not improved upon, and that a lot of this stuff could be covered in a new engine. And a real example that I kind of like to bring up about the engine being dated from the start, because really the engine was dated really for Skyrim and they got the most out of that, and it was a really beautiful game, but there was other games at the time that was using different engines, like the CryEngine for instance, which brought out a lot of different aspects of games and made it kind of less clunky to play. Because if you think about it, Skyrim to play isn't very, fluid like the Call of Duties are, but is kind of clunky, to be honest. And really, the engine where it was originally dated for me was showing the fight at Whiterun. I was about to say Winterfell, but no, the fight at Whiterun, when you're defending the city against the Stormcloaks for the Imperials, and you're thinking, oh my god, the Stormcloaks are coming, there's going to be a massive horde of them, and then you see two Stormcloaks run towards you, and it's like, oh god. The technical limitations of the engine in Skyrim really left us all, as fans of the series, wanting for more. And this was, yes, it was improved upon again in Fallout 4, but nothing compared to the likes of games like The Witcher 3, or even Grand Theft Auto, when you've got these huge amounts of players on the screen fighting, which you get kind of a lot of the time in, GTA for instance, but even using The Witcher, there's lots of times when you've got very interesting and lots of things going on the screen fights, which you don't really have that huge amount of in Fallout 4. And you got more out of it than what you did in Skyrim, but we want to experience these huge battles that you get, Lord of the Rings size fights, which would be incredible to play through and something that would really bring the game series forward. One of the major complaints about the engine that was used for Skyrim and for Fallout 4, the creation engine, is that it is really designed to be used on single processor machines, which is not really used anymore in gaming, as we've kind of taken a step on and it's become dated and has been really announced as being a really dated engine since 2013, and I was just browsing a Reddit post earlier that said, it's outdated then, and we're 3 years past that, and they haven't even really gone to huge stakes to improve it. They've said they've improved it, but like I've just proven, the things that they've improved aren't really in the minority. And the reason they've done this single processor thing, and when I was reading into it, was because they were doing this to kind of get it away to make it all work in comparison to consoles. So they really downgraded the PC version to make it operate on consoles. An example of this in Skyrim is because, yes, you can pick up forks and plates off the tables, but you can't pick up candlesticks, you can't pick up rocks, and that's because of the limitations of the consoles, not because of the PC. And if the engine was focused surely to go on a PC, then it'd be okay, but it was compromised to use them console versions because of this engine. Other unnecessary things that come with this engine is the games that come out on it are way too buggy. Okay, before I say this, before everyone goes mental in the comments section, not all of the bugs that are in Fallout 4 and Skyrim are to do with the engine. A lot of them are to do with the programming style that they have with Bethesda Game Studios at this moment in time, but it is something that is the problem. That is something that is causing these bugs to happen, is the engine and the outdatedness of the engine. Big example in Fallout 4 was a lot of the players' faces and the NPC faces kind of bugged out a lot. You know, a lot of glitches, which glitches happen in all games, but nothing to the extent of what we got in Fallout 4 and Skyrim, being kind of incredibly ridiculous. Too long loading times. This is something that massively needs to be improved. On PC with Skyrim, it's fine now because kind of PCs kind of improved it and be able to run it a lot better, but Fallout 4, the loading times were still too long. It was nothing compared to like Bloodborne on the PlayStation 4, but they were still really long. And even for console players, it's kind of crazy, it's kind of ridiculous. And this is something that really needs to be improved upon, because you can have cool loading screens like Shadow of Mordor had when you get areas of lore and things like that, but they get boring, they get dull after a while. You know, in The Witcher 3, we had barely any loading screens in that game. Really, from fast travelling and going into specific cutscenes and things like that were loading screens. But you could enter buildings without loading screens and everything. Really great. Fallout 4, not the case. Every building you went into that you had to go through a door to get to was a loading screen, which was poor. Fallout 4 as a game, when it came out, looked dated. Comparing this to games that come out at the time or a year before, you know, even games like Assassin's Creed Unity, which was very, very buggy, looked newer compared to Fallout 4. Dragon Age Inquisition looked very new compared to it. Witcher 3, the Far Cry games. You know, Fallout 4 looked dated. Yes, the vistas looked good, but once you got close up, it didn't look great. And you couldn't really see them improvements that they made to the engine, and something that a new engine would improve upon to give us a better graphical look. And yes, I agree that graphics aren't everything, but they do enhance the experience. The animations are kind of clunky. Yes, this was something again improved upon from Skyrim to Fallout 4, but still nothing quite there yet that made it so clean and slick, and something to really shout about. And the new engine would give them the freedom to really, you know, use the animations that they want to go upon. And this is something that a lot of the people that use and create mods for the game have said that they really want to overhaul in the next creation engine, or the next engine that the Bethesda Game Studios bring out, is having improvements on animations and having the more freedom to create better style animations using this engine. And really the big problem about the engine was that the jump from the past gen, from the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 to the newer gen, the PS4 and the Xbox One, didn't work well for this. As a lot of games, you know, they make new engines when it goes to next gen, and this is something that Bethesda should have done, but they didn't, and they went out to improve it, and it didn't really work. It still had that Skyrim look to it, which is, don't get me wrong, Skyrim, one of the most beautiful games I've ever played, but looks dated in its vanilla version now, and pretty much everyone on the PC plays it with mods to make it look better, to make it compete with these newer games that are coming out, and this is one of the big reasons why Fallout 4 didn't look so good. Other drawbacks on this engine is that it has few distance limitations and level separations, so really we're not being able to see it as far as we could in games like Mad Max, for instance, the game that came out last year. And this is something again that is not something really that could be really required on. It's not something that we're dying to be fixed, but it's something that, you know, it's a little detail that adds to the overall enjoyment and improvement to the game. AI systems as well come off as being very rigid. This is again another thing that has been lacking probably even since the Gabriel days, you know, before they had them. This is not something that's really been improved at all throughout Bethesda games. The AI is dodgy, especially when sneaking. Needs to be fixed. Do it, Bethesda. The big battles and stuff that we want at the end of the day, that we want to take part in these massive wars and these massive battles in the Elder Scrolls series, cannot be done on this engine. This is the main reason why I want it to be improved, so the set pieces that we can take part in, the actual physics of the items and the physics of, you know, the AI characters and the characters that you go into the game, and even look at the faces and when people are talking can be improved. The look of the characters can be improved. The general look and feel of the game can be improved with the new engine. Bugs will get less of them. And yes, it could take another year or so for them to make the game, but I'm willing to sacrifice that year wait to go into the game with the new engine, and I would really hope that they take the time and do that, because it's where a lot of the complaints of the game come down to. It's where people really got disjointed with the game because of the old styles and the old features that have really been replaced since then and improved upon, were not done in Fallout 4, and really kind of left a lot of people kind of a little bit underwhelmed with the game. And is really a lot of the complaints of the game come down to the engine, and I truly believe that if they could get a new engine, the series can take a step forward and become next gen, however cheesy that may sound. So thanks a lot for watching the video, and if you want to check out any more of my Elder Scrolls 6 content, please click the video card or go on the channel into the playlist and see my Elder Scrolls 6 videos. I've got a horde of them now that keeps on improving and getting kind of a lot of traction on the channel, so I'm definitely going to keep on making these videos because I enjoy making them myself. Please like the video, and if you want to go a step further, have a look at the donation links in the description below if you really want to help the channel out. Definitely not required, but it would really help me out, and I appreciate if you would do that. So once again, thanks a lot for watching, and please subscribe for more content coming out on the channel.